Hello, and welcome to the Sofa Talk podcast. I'm your co host, Aster.
And I'm your co-host SeVen.
Let's talk it out and lounge it up. We appreciate you listening. This is episode 3, and the title of today's episode is Men's Health Matters. This episode is about breaking the silence of men's health and supporting men in taking initiative to improve their well being. Welcome back. That lounge hip hop beat is music by U underscore 980 9HLKN 7R from Pixabay. Thank you for the music sample. So, before we begin, I wanted to ask SeVen, what are men's common health problems? Would you
Hmm.
say?
I would say, whew, I would definitely say heart disease, high blood pressure, prostate cancer, mental health. Um, that's just to name a few.
Okay, so you did highlight a few of them, and you did reach some of them.
Hmm.
So, according to the Mayo Clinic Men's Health article by Mayo Clinic staff, the biggest threat to men's health is heart disease and cancer, that tops the list. Others include injury, lung disease, stroke, and diabetes. Healthy lifestyle choices such as eating a healthy diet and moving every day can help. To protect your health, you avoid risky actions such as smoking, drinking too much alcohol, and having casual sex. And take steps to keep yourself safe. Use a seatbelt when you're in the car and wear a helmet when you go on a bike or motorcycle. This is also important too because of traumatic brain injuries and like head injuries. They said use a safety ladder to reach high areas. Most men who are tall and stuff, they think,
Mm,
oh, I don't need to do that or whatever because I'm tall, whatever. But just for safety and balance purposes,
yeah,
um, use a ladder. I agree with it. Manage illnesses such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol. Practice safer sex. We
for
all know that
sure.
for
Definitely.
sure.
Wrap it up, fellas.
Exactly. Be safe out there. And get all the suggested health screenings and vaccinations for your age. Keep in mind, too, that health issues can change with age. For example, many men gain weight as they get older. So it's important to take note into that. And they could also have belly fat weight from belly fat, also, that men do tend to get. So that was some little information there. And SeVen, why do you think men don't go to the doctors or therapy?
Mm, good question. I think the reason why a lot of men don't go to the doctor because, for one, they don't want to be told something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you think when you're sick, it's like a sign of when you're sick or got health issues going on, it's a sign of weakness or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
He's got it.
So I
He's
think
got
that's
it.
why a lot of men like they don't want to go to the doctors. They don't want to hear anything bad, or it might not make them feel as strong and as a man, just that whole like man thing. You gotta be strong. You gotta be this and
Mm-hmm.
that. And I think that plays a part. Why a lot of men don't go to the doctors. Um, and then I also believe too, I believe the reason why a lot of men don't seek therapy because once again, having mental health for some men, I'm not going to say all, but it's a side of weakness,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those type of men that definitely believe in seeking therapy. I've gotten a lot better over the years going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, listen to what the doctor has to say. Taking better care of myself so I can be here for myself, for my children, my family, my friends, and all of that. But therapy, I think it's like it's a touchy thing for a lot of men. because some men also have trauma, have also had bad experiences and been through a lot of things in their life, and some of them don't want to relive that. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like avoiding. It's like, if I go to therapy, they might make me open up something, or something may resurface in me that I don't want to resurface.
Mhm.
And I saw something the other day, and somebody said, take the 6 months, take the 12 months, even take the 24 months. It's worth it than a lifetime of misery. And he was talking about seeking therapy because it's
Mhm.
men's mental health month.
Yes.
And it was a young black man that was on there. He was saying, people, you'll go through your whole life miserable and sad, depressed, angry, um, bitter,
Mhm.
because you didn't take that little bit of time, those months for yourself to tap in and take care of your mental health. And he was like, after you take care of it and you get well, you're free. It's like you're no longer caged in anymore.
Mhm.
So take whatever amount of time that it takes for yourself so you can be well and be your best self. And that really touched me when I saw that, because I look at things like, we're getting older and stuff like that, and we want to be here long as we can, but there's certain things that we have to take care of so we can be here.
Absolutely.
And the number one thing is your mental health. Your mental health has to be on point, and
Mhm.
then following your heart, and
Mhm.
then everything else comes behind that. Those
Mhm.
two are very, very important: your mental health and your heart. And I just
Mhm.
appreciated that. And seeing that it was on social media, it was on TikTok, and I just thought about it because I'm one of them type of people. I tend to procrastinate, and I'll put, oh, I'll do it next week. I'll start over
Yes.
Monday.
Me
I'll start
too.
eating better Monday. I'll go to
Yep.
the gym Monday. I'll set all my doctor's appointments on Monday. And
Mhm.
it's just like, dude, just take the time and get it done. Do what you got to do. Tomorrow's not promised. So
Yes.
go ahead and get it done. Do what you got to do so you can be well and be here. Don't put anything off. And that's what we tend to do, especially if we're still kind of young, also, too. Oh, I'm good. I don't need to get that checkup, or I don't need that physical, or I don't need to take no medication. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't need to
Mhm.
do that. I'm strong. I feel good now.
Mhm.
But to prevent anything in the future, take care of it now.
All right. He's highlighted some pointers there.
Mm-hmm.
Why men avoid the doctor, according to the Men's Health Center from the blog, dated February 11th, 2024, by Andy Pfeiffer. They consider it inconvenient clinic hours, long waits with short visits. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a waste of time, pretty much. Like
Yeah.
I'm here and then I'm just out.
Mm-hmm.
And crowded impersonal offices.
Mm-hmm.
So they do feel that way, the men. Men die a lot younger than women of diseases that are highly preventable,
Yeah.
namely cardiovascular problems and cancers. Men tend to ignore their health in favor of professional obligations or family duties.
Yeah.
Right? If they're the breadwinner,
Mm-hmm.
they're making the money, the provider, they might
So
not have time
they're like, I don't got
to
time.
go to the doctor. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? That's going to be the least of their worries. Even young men have health risks that can affect their productivity and how well they age. Most men still ignore serious health risks until they start having problems. They're not taking the preventative measures
Yeah.
to combat that. Listen to this too, y'all. Women are really the healthcare providers of the family.
I agree.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Women are the healthcare providers of the family, says Salt Lake City physician and researcher Dr. Andy Pfeiffer. They often they're often the ones making appointments for their husbands, and they are also more likely to get regular checkups and consult for symptoms that may signal health problems. So shout out to the women. Shout out
Yeah,
to
for
us
sure.
for keeping the men in check. If they hear something, our motherly nature, our instincts, we know it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take the initiative, enforcement, and make sure that man, has that appointment made.
It's funny you mentioned
Shoot.
that, because my fiance,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't go to the doctors and do all the visits and all that stuff unless it's something womanly that has to be taken care of.
Yes. Well,
But
she
she's
had to.
always, did you go to the doctors? Did you set your appointment for this? Did you go
Mm-hmm.
to that? And I'm like, well,
Top of you.
when's the last time you got some blood work? When's the last time, like, but I think it's just the nature of a woman.
Yes,
Women are
that
so
motherly.
strong, and then they
Yes.
they have the motherly instinct. and a lot of them are
nurturers.
able to put whatever they're going through on the side to uplift the man to make sure the
Yes.
man is well. You know what I mean?
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely on that. And there are 4 important facts about men's health. This is from Summit Medical Group. So, here are these statistics here. 300 350,000 men die of cardiovascular disease each year.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. Listen to these numbers. More than 700,000 men are diagnosed with cancer each year. 300,000 of those cases will result in death. That's big too. 230,000 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer every year. It's the second leading cause of death in men.
You know, I lost my stepfather to
To
prostate cancer. Yeah,
Yes.
very young, in his 40s. In
See,
his
too
40s.
young. Too young. To left us too soon. More than 60% of adult American men are overweight or obese. Honestly, y'all, I think I'm over. What is it? I'm a woman. This doesn't pertain to me. I shouldn't be in this. But they're always trying to call somebody overweight and overbeat.
Obese,
and
yeah.
obese. The body mass index, the height, and all that. I just have opinions on that, y'all. I'm not gonna go there.
I've been hearing that since I might have been 10, 11, and 12, man. I've been hearing that all my life, man. I really have.
They say that about it's just okay. So if we're obese, I guess if we're not on that scale, we're obese. I know I might be obese. I don't look like it, but I'm obese. So that's important to know. Also, the Cleveland Clinic surveyed more than 500 American men ages 18 through 70 about their use of healthcare resources. And they found that only 3 out of 5 men get annual physicals. Over 40% of men only go to the doctor when they think they have a serious medical condition.
That was me at one point. Yep.
It happens. More than half of men said their health wasn't something they talk about. I think you mentioned that earlier.
I did, yeah.
They keep that discreet. They don't want to talk about it, y'all. So that's important to know. There's a fact, number 1, men are less likely to seek health care than women, which we mentioned a while ago. That's just what it is. Fact number 2, prostate cancer affects 1 in 9 men. Fact number 3, mental health is one of the most stigmatized issues affecting men. And they say many men, perhaps more than we think, struggle with their mental health and the stigma that surrounds it. The American Psychological Association reports that 30.6% of men have suffered from depression in their lifetime. Again, men's hesitation to seek care may be worsening this issue, as SeVen had mentioned earlier.
You know what I've noticed, Aster, is that I feel like as a man and men in general, I feel like we don't take nothing serious until it's brought to our attention. So if somebody called you out, like, you should get this exam done, or you should have had the physical done around this time.
Yes.
How old are you? You haven't had that done yet? I get that all the time. How old are you? You haven't got that done yet?
Yes.
And then that's when you kind of like, oh, you know what? But if I ain't feeling nothing, I don't feel bad, everything looks good, everything's operating, I don't need to go to the doctor.
That's true. That's true.
And speaking from a male's perspective, when your situation's no longer operating, if you know what I mean, fellas, if you have problems with that down there, that's when you want to go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's when you want to go.
Everything else, you're fine, you good.
But when it comes to that,
maybe a bad muscle or your back is hurting, something like that, you might go get that checked out. But if the thing down there ain't working, that's the only time we hit into the doctor.
It's true. It's true. He's not lying. That was funny. Men are notorious for not talking about their feelings, and no, that's not just another stereotype. It's an actual trend psychologists have documented. In the eyes of many men, discussing emotions is just another form of vulnerability that can lead to discomfort. It can be scary for men to begin sharing their feelings, but the payoff is worth it. Men who express their feelings verbally are less likely to express them in other ways. So what could those other ways be? Substance abuse. Right? Whether alcohol or
Any type of
Any type
drug.
of
It
drug,
could be sex.
sex. I was
It
about
could
to
be
say that.
food. It
Yep,
could be
food.
gambling.
Yep,
It can
yep,
be adult entertainment.
yep, yep, yep,
It could be a lot of things.
yep.
Yeah.
To
Hmm.
overcompensate that. Um, Talk to the men in your life. Encourage them to talk about their day, to tell you about their emotions, and to be open with you. They may be resistant at first, but persistence is powerful, and you'll be doing your part to improve men's mental health. So it may not even be a therapist. It may be like your fiance speaking to you. It
Yeah.
may be you and I speaking to each other.
Hmm.
Me speaking to my father, me speaking to my other male friends I have in my life that I hold dear to my heart,
Hmm.
outside of you too.
Hmm.
So I agree with that. Let's keep this going.
You know,
Let's keep this.
it in my case, I feel like because I grew up around a lot of women and had a
Yes.
lot of female friends,
Yes.
that also kind of helped me tap into that more.
But
I don't want
vulnerable is it?
vulnerable, sensitive side.
Yeah.
Just really tap into myself because women really do get into the mental and into the heart
Yes.
and the spirit and all that stuff like that.
And we understand
And
better.
and y'all
We
understand better.
understand. We are
And
emotional
y'all and
creatures.
so it's I kind of always been grateful to have that because when you with the guys or you talking maybe your dad, maybe your granddad
Mhm.
or something like that, or uncle or something like that, maybe your brother, but I know maybe trying to have those certain type of conversations with a friend,
Mhm.
the guys, all that, everybody's tough, so you can't really have a moment. So a
Yeah.
lot of the times we act out. So it's like, oh, you go drinking with the fellas. That's your way
Yes.
of saying
Yes.
there might be
Yes.
something wrong or you're releasing something that's bothering you. So I'm gonna go drink, or I'm gonna
Mhm.
go heavy in the gym, or
Oh yeah, that
go
too.
play basketball, football, or you just stuck on your video games because that's another way for you to take away what's going on in your
Mhm.
mind if you're struggling.
Mhm.
And it kind of sucks because a lot of males do feel like they can't be vulnerable and open with another male peer without feeling like
Mhm.
somebody's gonna call you soft or sensitive. I remember when my first child, I was nervous, I was
Mhm.
scared. Um, I was financially prepared, but I wasn't mentally prepared
Mhm.
as on taking on another life and
Yes.
being responsible and all
Yes.
of that. You think because you have everything for the child, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that told me on the phone. I called him and I was like bawling on the phone, and
Yeah.
he told me, he was like, "Man, you got man up. You a father
See.
now. Don't call me with that shit. You a father. You made a baby."
So when he told you to man up,
Hmm.
do you feel like that kind of dismissed
You know what?
that's a good question. Did that dismiss?
That's a good question.
That's why men don't
So
talk to men sometimes.
so the younger me took that as he dismissed me. The person I am today,
Yes.
he was looking out for me. He was
Okay.
he I did take it as a dismiss when I was 25. I was still young, and I did take it like damn. But then when I got older and just realizing things and how now that I have a lot more
Mhm.
men in my life now
Mhm.
also too,
Mhm.
the dynamic and how conversations are had or whatever, that was his way of saying, dude, it's gonna be okay. You
Yeah.
got it. You strong. You a man. You got this.
Okay.
And that's how I look at it now. But back then, I didn't look at it like that. I felt like I was being shut down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to be
You
able to
see.
read. You got to be able to read between the lines a little bit. But everybody doesn't have that. So that kind of goes back into what we were talking about, where you're able to talk and when you're not. So when you kind of get something
Uh-huh.
like that, it's like, well, damn, I can't really talk to nobody else. I can't talk to the other fellas because my homie right here,
Uh-huh.
he already shut me down.
Yeah.
And your dad's probably going to say the same thing. Maybe your
Yes.
grandpa, maybe your
Yes.
uncle, maybe your brother.
Yes.
But then what I also learned as I've gotten older too, some people that may have experienced certain things that you already experienced and they overcame it,
Yeah.
they're more sensitive to that conversation.
Okay.
They're more open and they kind of cautious with the words because like they don't want to come off emotional and soft. But
Yeah.
anybody that cares about you that has been in a situation that you might be currently in or struggling with and they overcame it, a lot of times they're going to put you in the right direction.
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
but we have to have our safe place too, just as well
I believe
as just
that.
like women do.
We gotta validate
Women, they
y'all.
get on the phone, call their girlfriends,
Yep, the
mom, sister,
moms,
friends,
sisters. I do
whoever,
that with my people.
and they can have that conversation, everything.
Yep.
But with the fellas, it's like, come on, let's go shoot some pool, let's go get some
Yeah, yeah,
beer
yeah,
after work,
yeah, yeah.
you
Let's go to
know
the
let's
bar.
let's go to, you know what I'm saying.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
they just,
It,
instead of talking, they're chugging, or they bouncing the ball, or they're on the workout equipment.
Or it's
You
like
know,
avoiding.
it's like
Yeah,
avoiding,
it's like
and it's
avoiding.
like, in a sense, it's like, okay, it's comfort because I got my people with me.
Yeah,
So
distracting.
it's a distraction. So I got them with me, so I'm safe. But then it's like
You can't
I'm not
verbally.
able and verbally able
Uh-huh.
to say what I want to say,
Yes,
if that
yes.
makes sense. You know what I'm
No, that
saying?
makes sense.
So
That okay.
you
Thank you for
you
saying
just
that
have to.
too.
It depends on those relationships, and I think I said before, you know, if you don't have or you're not comfortable, because some people just not an
Mhm.
open book.
Mhm.
I'm an open book because I'm the type of person. If I'm dealing with something,
Mhm.
misery doesn't. I'm not a person that wants that loves company because I'm miserable. You know what I mean?
Thank
I'm
you.
not one of them type of people.
Shout out
But
to you
if
for that.
I'm dealing with something, I'm going through something,
Mhm.
I'm going to express that because I want somebody to help me get out of that. I don't want to
Mhm.
put that burden on them. But if I know that they're in a better place than me
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
can help me overcome it, whatever I'm dealing with, and they're not going to judge me, and I'm able to express and feel
Mhm.
safe, I'm going to talk to those people so I can come out of that.
Mhm.
But if you don't, fellas, if y'all don't have that, or you don't have the safe place, or you may not have
Mhm.
male friends, you may not have a brother, you may
Mhm.
not
A
have a
cousin.
relationship with your dad or whatever,
Mhm.
what have you,
Stepfather.
find a therapist, talk to your primary care physician.
Mhm.
There's stuff online, there's social media groups, there's always somebody out there
Mhm.
that knows a little bit more than you or may have the tools to help you when you are struggling mentally. You got to get it out. You got to talk about it because you will destroy yourself. And those things that used to be uh common nature that you
Mhm.
always felt that was right is eventually wrong because it turns out that it's wrong because you're not really expressing it. You know what I mean? Like you are holding back all those things. So when you're playing ball or you go drinking or you're going to the gym, all those voidness is not fixing what the problem
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
So you make that a routine because you're like, well, this will just always work.
Mhm.
But if you're not being vocal about it
Mhm.
or expressing it,
Mhm.
it's gonna keep you in that same situation that you're in,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna continue to be comfortable. And then once again, that goes on with men's health because then what
Mhm.
happens is when you are abusing your body or you're doing certain things and
Yes.
avoiding certain things that's going in your body, and
Mhm.
you're
You're
using
hurting yourself
you're
more.
hurting yourself, and then
Mhm.
eventually you are going to get sick or you may
There
really
you go.
shut down
There you go. There
because
you go.
all that time of avoidance and all that self-medicating you thinking was fixing what was your problem. Because when you stressed out or you have
Yep.
anxiety
Yep.
or
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 depression.
depression,
That's another
your heart
common one.
rate goes up,
Yep.
your blood
Your blood
pressure
pressure. Yep.
goes up. You
He's
know what
hitting
I'm
the
saying?
yep.
Your hair can fall out. Your
Yep.
skin can you get
Breakouts.
breakouts. You can
Yep.
have your manhood
Itchiness.
may not malfunction properly. You could
Right?
go through so many things because of the mind. That's how powerful
The
the mind
mind is. Thank
is,
you for that.
fellas. So it's like
Mhm.
when those things are going on, don't try to substitute it with the normalcy around you. Go take care of it.
Mhm.
Go definitely
Mhm.
go take care of it.
Go take care of it.
Absolutely. When that engine light come on the car, what you do? Take it right into the shop.
That's right.
So
That's right.
when you start clicking and you ain't feeling right and you know something's not adding up in you, go take care of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just the same way you want your car to last and run, that's how you want your body to be.
Mhm. Inside and out.
Inside and out,
Inside and out.
mentally and physically.
Yes, I like that car analogy.
Yep.
Yes. Men should be making better lifestyle choices, which SeVen had highlighted there. Making better, and I mentioned that earlier, better lifestyle choices. That's important.
Yeah,
That
for
is
sure.
important. That is important. Because men's life expectancy is shorter than
It
women's.
definitely is.
So that
It
says
is.
a lot. That says a lot. That says a lot there. So that was from, again, we cite our sources here. That is from Summit Medical Group, June 3rd, 4 important facts about men's health. Let's keep it rolling, y'all. um, this one is from Dignity Health, and it is on why do many men avoid seeking medical help? And this kind of deals with unique challenges and experiences men face in taking care of their health.
Yeah.
So let's see here. This is important here. The belief in self reliance. Many men believe they should be able to handle their health issues on their own, leading to delays in seeking professional help.
hmm It's kind of like we think like it'll fix itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will fix
hmm
itself. There's fear of vulnerability again. Admitting to needing help can be a sign as weakness, as SeVen had mentioned, which can be particularly challenging for men raised in a culture that emphasizes, being strong and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So that's important. We didn't mention this, but this is good. Financial concerns.
definitely.
The cost of healthcare can
Hmm.
be a significant barrier for some men, especially those without insurance or facing financial hardship. Y'all, insurance is going up. Health insurance is going up. Co-pays are going up. Paychecks aren't going up.
Yeah, facts,
Facts, right? Let's
facts.
keep it real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. Co-pays, all that. Everything's going up, but the paychecks aren't going up.
Hmm.
Can't stand you jobs. Sorry, y'all. Busy schedules, which we mentioned earlier. Men often juggle careers and family responsibilities, leaving little time for self-care. So many men perceive that having health issues is a sign of weakness. Again, this delays their access to care, says Dr. Robertson. So that's really important to note. Let's see. You want to schedule your regular checkups, as we mentioned. Talk to your doctor about your concerns. You want to be open and honest with your doctor about any health concerns you may have, no matter how small they may seem. Talk to your doctor. Write a notes, like write little notes before you go in about everything that's bothering you or any questions or concerns that you may have. Write notes. Kind of come prepared. Don't ignore your symptoms. Right? Never ignore symptoms. If something's not feeling right, get it looked at. It's not going to disappear, like
Hmm.
SeVen said.
Yep.
It can be severe. That's important. Get to know your body, get in tune with your body, make healthy lifestyle choices, as it's mentioned before,
Hmm.
connect with other men, which we was talking about a while
Hmm.
ago.
Yep.
Connecting with men, talking to friends, family, or therapists can provide valuable support to help you feel less alone in your health journey. I think that's important to know.
Hmm.
So, and just taking care of your health is not a weakness, men.
It's not.
Please stop thinking that that is not a weakness. Okay? That is not weakness. It's strength.
I think what happens is that we get so caught up in our routine,
Mm-hmm.
and we are consumed by everyday life,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, working, family, whatever you got going on, school, whatever it could be, whatever. And I just personally feel like you have to you got to put yourself first. You got to
Yes.
take that time, because if you're no good and the people that you're worried about taking care of and all that stuff like that, your bills, your whatever, your family, whatever it could be, if you're not good, you're not going to be able to do any of those things. So you have to add self-care, fellas,
Yes.
into your day, your routine,
Mm-hmm.
or you know put it in your schedule. Make sure you do your 6 months checkups, whatever your
Annual.
doctor
Mm-hmm.
recommends. Look into it, make that time for you. If you are a man, if you're a man that has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things on your plate,
Yes.
that can cause you to get sick, that can cause you to have mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
So rather later, take care of it now, so when certain things come your way, you're able to be here and still stand on it. Because the worst thing you could do to yourself is be struggling mentally or have some type of health issue while dealing with all the everyday life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that stress on top of stress over top of stress, and it will be hard to get out of that. So if your health is good
Mm-hmm.
and your mental health is good, you'll be able to navigate all those other things.
I believe it.
I really do too.
I believe it. I believe it. So this is from Sturdy Health, published on July 20th, 2023. And this is Men's Health Matters, 5 commonly overlooked healthcare issues. Some of this may be redundant because we have repeated them several times, but let's the more you repeat things, the more you become used to hearing it and it sticks with you. So let us repeat it again if we have to. Preventative care. Preventative care is critical in maintaining your overall health, and early detection of issues can be life saving. It is recommended that men in their 30s go to the doctor every other year and to switch to annual visits in their 40s. That's interesting because women are supposed to go every year. So that's interesting there.
Hmm.
Regular checkups for men include blood pressure screening, blood work, testicular and prostate exams, in addition to other routine health checks.
Yep.
Yep, I think that's important.
Hmm.
Bowel health. you know, using the bathroom down there. Talking about bathroom issues might be bad manners, but it could also save your life, fellas. It could save your life. Colorectal cancer is the third most commonly diagnosed cancer, and men have a 1 in 23 lifetime risk of developing it. Yikes.
Hmm.
So that's important. About bowel related cancers and things like that.
Yeah.
And also, I would say this too, this may be a little too graphic, but just know how your body feels when you're using the bathroom, and also check your bowel movements to look for like little patterns.
Yep.
We're supposed to do that anyways. Check to see if your stools or whatever,
Yeah. Make sure there's
your
not blood
feces,
or anything.
anything, different
Yep.
patterns, how that all, just
Yep.
keep a mind,
Hmm.
mindful watch on that. The good news is that colorectal cancer can be highly treatable with early detection. So again, preventative measures. That is hopeful hearing that. That is hopeful hearing that. So keep that in mind. Skin cancer. Wow, I didn't even think this. I'm glad I read this. Skin
Hmm.
cancer. Men over 50 are more likely than women to develop melanoma, and by the age of 65, the risk is double. Never knew that. So that's important. Your skin cancer. We said this earlier. Alcohol use. According to the CDC, men are more likely to drink excessively than women. This level of alcohol consumption can lead to risky behaviors and accidents and is associated with lower fertility. Uh-oh, baby making time.
Hmm.
Ooh, yikes. It's going to be down. The
Yeah.
more you drinking, that baby making ain't going to be happening. Also, excessive drinking is also associated with elevated risk for several types of cancers, including prostate and liver cancer. Go figure that out. We were just talking about prostate and liver cancer. So keep that in mind too. Mental health. We're not going to go much in detail. We already spoke about that. Mental health continues to have a stigma around it, especially for men, but that does not make it any less prevalent. Depression and anxiety affect everyone, men included, and their effects can range from mild issues like fatigue, irritability, and difficulty focusing to more severe symptoms like aggression, social withdrawal, and self harm. So there are a lot of treatments available for men with mental health disorders, and treatments can be tailored to your specific needs. So there's like therapy for cognitive behavioral therapy, medications including SSRIs, or more commonly a combination of the two. So keep that in mind. Talk to a therapist, talk to your primary care physician
Hmm.
about anything you're facing with your mental health, as SeVen had mentioned earlier. And this is important, y'all. This is for you, Gen Z, the younger population here. Listen to this. And I'll be done with this reading, y'all. I'm not trying to bore y'all, nothing like this, but this is important to know. These are facts. Listen to this, y'all. This is from thehill.com, and it's healthcare. This article is by Alejandra O'Connell Dominic. I hope I didn't pronounce that wrong. I'm sorry if I butchered her name. This was dated September 23rd, 2024. 2 in 5 Gen Z men don't have a primary care doctor, according to a survey. Nearly 40% of Generation Z men do not have a primary care provider, according to a Cleveland Clinic survey.
You want to know something, Asher? This just popped up in my head, and I
Go
think
ahead.
this is true. This might go for a lot of not just men, but just for kids, young adults in
Mm-hmm.
general. A lot of us are on our parents' insurance or have insurance until we're about 18 years
Or
old
19.
or 19,
Uh-huh.
or unless we're in college or
College.
something like that.
Okay, take it.
And then a lot of times,
Take it.
because we're young, we're not thinking about health insurance. I I can tell you, probably from after I got off my dad had me on his insurance. I think I got off at 19. I don't want to say I got my own health insurance until after, I want to say
20s.
late 20s.
See.
I definitely after 25. I know I would get a job and be like, man, I ain't getting that taken out of my paycheck. I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, guys, that's just being ignorant and not
Mm-hmm.
knowing much because you're thinking because you're young and
Mm-hmm.
what have you, whatever. And what happened to me was I want to say about 20 or 21, and I
Mm-hmm.
was starting to develop weird symptoms and stuff like that. So I did go to the hospital, and then they referred me to a doctor, and that's how I found out I was diabetic.
See?
And so then after that, then that's when I had to start getting blood work, going to doctors. Because then once you're adult, it's not like your parents like, you gotta go for your checkup, you gotta go to the
Yes.
doctor, you gotta go do this,
Yes.
you gotta go to the dentist, you gotta go have this done.
Yes.
And so when you're kind of out there on your own, it's like, I'm not worried about that. I feel fine. And I said, and I said to myself now, I'm like, man, I thank God that I did pay attention to what my body was doing. So at that young age also too, because
See?
it could have led to something else.
Exactly.
I knew people that were in their 20s that had a heart attack, and it like shocked me, you know, in their late 20s that had a heart attack. And so I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? So I think that is another issue with the whole, you know, going to the doctors and health and all that too. It could be the insurance thing. And then once again, you know, after you're a young adult, you're thinking, I don't need to go to the doctors. I don't feel bad. I'm not worried about it. And then, you know, you're only worried about having a good time and making money and all that. So the last one of your worries is going to the doctors or going for a checkup, unless something's literally wrong. And probably 9 out of 10, what everybody does, instead of getting a doctor, going to the doctor, I'm just going to the emergency room. I know
that's true.
So
or
many,
urgent care.
or the urgent care.
Yep,
They're not going to their primary doctor. That was my thing. Oh, I don't feel good. I'm just going to the urgent care. I'll go to the emergency room.
I'm glad you brought that up. That is some truth.
Yeah.
That is true. Yes, SeVen.
Yep.
Yes, SeVen. Yes. I'm gonna finish this out real quick, and I'll be done with the reading, y'all. So we have a Peter Bajek, director of the Center for Men's Health at Cleveland Clinic, said health risks linked to age and family history make having a relationship with a primary care provider essential, even for younger men, the Gen Z men as well, and millennials too. Because also too, you got to remember too, a lot of our health issues are genetic.
Very much true.
It's genetic.
Yeah.
So if a grandparent had something, your parent had something, you're more likely to be predisposed to having that as well.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of important with Men's Health to add on to that. Know your family history on both sides, your mother and your father, and any siblings too. I think they ask questions about siblings. Other family members too, I think they may ask also.
Definitely bloodline.
Yeah, the bloodline. Yep, because that could, you might be getting that. Knock on wood. Hopefully you won't, but there's a chance that there's a possibility you might get diagnosed with that same disorder that your loved one has. So just keep that in mind and just stay in tune with the family on that. So that was a good article from thehill.com. I thought that was important to address and to mention. So I think SeVen got some things he want to say.
Yeah, so I definitely wanted,
health and physical.
I definitely wanted to mention, you know, talking about, because we are on, you know, it is Men's Health Month, and I definitely wanted to tap in, you know, with the fellas. I really think that it's really important that we are taking care of our mental health. But there's something that I wanted to really touch on also too. As men, and what I've realized, maybe it might just be my generation or whatever. I can't speak for everybody. I'm a millennial, born in '87. But what I would say is, what I'm noticing is a lot of you fellas don't like being alone.
They're not ready for that.
And this
are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for that topic?
This might ruffle
are y'all
some
ready?
feathers, but I really don't think a lot of the fellas like being alone. And I really think, and you know, you think because you might be the guy and you got all the girls or whatever, might sleep around, whatever works for you, whatever. But I feel like when you're doing that, you're causing also a lot of trauma to your mental health. If I'm saying it correct,
keep it, elaborate. Come on, bring
you're
it.
In and out of those relationships, and a lot of times, if you're out of relationship, in and out of relationship, they're not good relationships.
Okay.
Obviously, so obviously something went wrong if they're not lasting.
Okay.
And what I have to say is that you guys, you have to be able to step back a little bit and take that time for yourself, because if you do want to have a successful relationship with someone, you want to come to the next person with your best. You know, you don't want to bring any drama or trauma, any of those things into the next situation you're going into. And I just personally feel a lot of guys aren't healing. So what's going on is we are creating broken homes, we're breaking women.
Oh my gosh.
or men, whatever your preference is,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yep.
But you're taking all that baggage into the next situation you're going into, and you're not healing. And all you're doing is just corrupting yourself, corrupting the situations you in, and you just taking on a whole bunch of BS that you don't have to. So, and I think that's why that might be a reason why a lot of guys jump in and out with different women and stuff like that. I think it's really a thing of just not wanting to be alone. You
Mhm.
can also have mommy issues. You can have abandonment issues. You can have
Yeah,
daddy
yeah,
issues.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could have went through some stuff. So you may feel that's why you have to be with somebody. And I'm one of those type of people also too.
Mhm.
I don't believe in being in any situation that's not good for me. And if the situation isn't good and you already dealing with enough shit, don't continue to keep yourself in that because you don't want to be alone. Because what that causes
Go
is
ahead.
what
Go
a lot of
ahead.
things happens is
Mhm.
we're starting to see a lot of domestic
Oh my
violence.
gosh, thank you for
We're starting to
highlighting.
see a
I
lot
was
of
about to ask you that.
incarcerations. We're starting to see a lot of
Yes.
suicides, a lot of
Yes.
deaths, a
Yes.
lot of oh my
Mm, mm,
God, so
mm.
many things are happening to the
Mhm.
men in the world today because
And they're lashing out on I'm a woman and they're lashing out on women. Like you said, domestic violence, they're verbally, mentally, physically, and it's hurting the woman,
right,
creating more trauma,
I agree.
you know.
And it's because I feel like a lot of time, yeah, your partner can also bring a lot of stuff to you to make you act out.
Yeah.
But if you already dealing with a lot of stuff in your head, your own personal issues and
Yes.
all that stuff like that, and if somebody's already in a bad place themselves, both of you two are just clashing together. She's broken, he's broken, or he's broken,
Trauma
whatever.
bonding.
Trauma
You mentioned
bonding,
that on our
and
segment.
it's not good. And some people get so caught up and get so used to that being their normal that they think that that's normal, and it's not. That's not normal to be in a bad situation thinking that is healthy, that is right. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
my thing with that is, fellas, if you're dealing with a lot of stuff, if you can't commit, if you're
Mm-hmm.
not fulfilled in your life, or you're lacking areas in your life, if there's things that's going on in you that you're not taking care of, but you don't want to be alone, you're not going to create a good situation for yourself. And then what I also feel as, if you're a broken man and you
Yes.
go into a situation, and I'm speaking about relationships on this
Yes.
because I spoke about being alone. Of Eventually, if your partner doesn't help you come out of that, they will also use that against you,
Okay. Talk.
and that
Go
will
ahead.
become a weakness. And what that would do
Mm.
is make you bitter as a man, and then you'll have anger and aggression towards your partner because now what they doing, calling you out on who you are because you're not a fixed person. So they're going to talk about, oh, you're weak, or you got mental issues, or
Uh-huh.
you don't have a relationship with your parents, or you got kids here and there, or you can't keep a woman, or you
Okay.
can't keep a job.
Okay.
All that stuff plays into your head, or whatever the case may be, whatever you're dealing with, and it's all in your head, and all this going around, going around. And then what happens is either you start abusing drugs or alcohol.
You start hitting the women.
You'll start being physically
Mm-hmm.
and mentally abusive.
Yep.
You'll start doing all these different things that you think is helping you cope, that's going to take away what the problem is, and it's not. All it is creating more and more problems around you. And I just say that when you already dealing with something, or you're going through
Uh-huh.
something, take care of that first before you go into another situation, fellas. Any situation, if it's a job, if it's a
Uh-huh.
relationship, if it's with
Uh-huh.
your children, if
Uh-huh.
it's with friends, family, whatever,
Uh-huh.
you have to be in a healed space. We as men, we as people, and this goes even to women. I say this all the time. People, you have to learn to be selfish these days.
Yep.
You have to
The sense of the
you
self.
have to take care of yourself
Explore
first.
yourself and have
You
self-discovery.
have to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're good, then you'll be able to be good to any and everybody around you. You be good to your family, your friends, your job, whatever you got going on. You'll be there and capable and clear minded, able to do it. But if your head, if your heart and your soul is broken,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to keep going into those situations. Sit in those, because I tell you this, when you're alone, you're able to think. You have no distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not taking that time for yourself and you're jumping here, there, doing this and doing that or
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you are not taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're just
Mm-hmm.
taking care of a moment.
Mm-hmm.
and a moment only lasts for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to take care of yourself, tap in with yourself, whatever you're dealing with, so you don't take any of your BS onto any other situation in your life.
Mm-hmm.
The mental health has to come first, fellas. You got to take
Mm.
care of that mental health and take care of your physical health also. You have to take care of those two things. They're the
Yes.
number two things in your life: your mental health
Yes.
and your physical health. You have to take care of those things
Mm-hmm.
so you'll be able, But take that time of being alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone and tapping in with yourself, getting to know yourself. Because a lot of times a lot of us were raised being told who we are, what we're going to be, or what we have to do, and we stick to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes our norm. And then
Mm-hmm.
as you get older, you're sitting back like you're fighting all these things around you because these are all the things that people have put on your back and put on you or told you that you were. So
Yes.
you become these things. And then you'll come to a point in your life where you'll look back and look at yourself and you're like, this is not who I am. I'm not happy. I'm not well. I'm not this. I'm not that. And
Uh-huh.
and if you don't address it, you'll start to take your feelings and your frustrations out on things and people and around you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go ahead and do the self work, you can save yourself a lot of trauma, a lot of time, a lot of disappointment, a lot of heartache if you take care of those things.
So your suggestion, pretty much overall, sum it up, would be
Take care of yourself,
take care of
fellas.
yourself. Don't
Take
rely on women. Don't to fill the
Yeah,
void.
and it's okay to be alone.
It's okay
It's
to be
okay.
alone.
It don't make you any less than a man if you
Uh-huh.
alone or you live alone or you're not dating or if
Uh-huh.
you're not hopping in and out of bed with whoever. Take
Mm-hmm.
that time for yourself and do that self-healing because hopping out of bed, substance abuse,
Mm-hmm.
doing all types of crazy stuff is not going to fix your problem. It's not going to make you well. It's not going to fix you. It's still going to be there.
And then you're also carrying that on to the partner.
Yeah, and you
Also,
or
you're
if you
bringing
have
all those bad
children and
energy
all
and
that.
spirits to the partner.
Yeah,
Yep, and
yep.
like you said, the
Yep.
children.
If
You're
you have
bringing that
children
on,
and
and that's
making
not
children,
fair.
yeah,
That's not fair.
absolutely.
That's not
It's
fair.
not fair.
It's not fair. Hmm.
Yep. You don't want to take
Yeah.
that brokenness or whatever you got going on to every situation around you because all you creating is chaos. You
And
don't want to
you're
do
letting
that.
it transfer to other people. You're letting
Yeah.
that spirit and that
Yep.
energy just keep on transferring,
Yeah.
transferring, transferring. And it may not be a good energy or spirit. It may be a bad, evil one. But you
That
know what?
too.
We're not going to even knock you about that for even having a bad spirit or dark energy or evil spirit
Because
because
we don't know what you're going
what you're
through.
going through.
Yeah.
So maybe you at one point in life you were a good person,
Yeah.
had it all, had your head on straight, but maybe life turned you cold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe the
Hmm.
world turned you cold that made you that way.
And that's why
I'm
I
glad I
said
brought that up.
when you realize that there's a problem or
Mm-hmm.
something's going on, that's when you take care of it so it doesn't get worse. You go
Okay.
ahead and take care of those things. If you know you in a fucked up place, you know that you messed up in
Mm-hmm.
the head, you know you may not love her or love this one or want to be
Mm-hmm.
with that or do this or work here or have that. If you know that you're not aware of yourself and you're not at your full best potential of yourself, take that time and be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't carry
I
all
believe
that
in that
on into
too.
every situation in your life. Take that self healing. And fellas, there's nothing wrong with journaling. There's nothing
Thank you.
wrong
Write
with
it out.
going to therapy.
Write it out.
If
Talk it out.
talking it out to
Mm-hmm.
somebody, what I will say when you do talk and express yourself, make sure it's safe. Everybody needs a safe place or a safe
Yes.
person to talk to or a safe place to go. You don't want to feel judged. If anything, you want to be heard. And
Mm-hmm.
if the person can offer something good to you, good advice, or
Yes.
whatever the case may be, then you take it. Know who you're talking to. Don't tell your business to everybody and all of that, but definitely find a safe place for yourself to talk to unleash. And if it's going to the gym, if it's going
Uh-huh.
for a walk, if you go, shoot hoops by yourself, anything that is therapeutic to make you feel
Okay.
better,
Okay.
do those things.
Uh-huh.
But don't run to sex and drugs in the streets and all that stuff like that. That's not going to fix all that. Try to bring those positive things into your life that can help bring you out or that's going to shine light on your situation. Know who you are, know your self-worth as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to
That's
say.
all. Okay. Mic drop. um what I want to say, I agree with everything that SeVen had mentioned. Everything, and I'm so glad he highlighted every single thing that he has said. Shout out to him for that. I respect it, and Thank you for that. Even recognizing us ladies, myself
Absolutely.
included,
Mhm.
that's important because that does play a factor and it does hurt us in the end too. Shout out to you for that. Um, Let me say something that I want to mention. In this, if y'all didn't hear our Pride Month, Navigating Pride Month episode, listen to that too. Let me tell you this, and this is what I personally heard. Men are men are stating that it's gay to get colorectal screenings and prostate exams. I never heard nothing like that in my life. I think that is
Yeah,
absurd.
that's
That
crazy, fellas.
that is crazy.
That's
That you
crazy.
all feel that way. That is sick. That you feel that way. That you cannot go there. Who is thinking about self pleasure or getting turned on from getting that exam? I know when I get my checkups, I'm thinking of, I hope I don't got nothing, or nothing down there,
Or
or
everything's
cancer,
okay.
everything's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about if it's gay or whatever.
So
Y'all got that
you
mentality.
meaning to tell me that you guys are basically saying that it's worth you losing your life because over a label
Yeah.
that, or it may look a certain way or feel a certain way, that you rather stand by what people think or a label or a name than your health. That's crazy to me.
Think about
That's
it.
crazy.
Think about it. Think about
Don't
it.
listen to that BS, fellas. Go to them
Go
doctors,
to the
man.
doctors.
Go.
It's not gay.
If you
It's
got to
not.
get a physical
Stop it.
or whatever, you got to get an exam. Get it done. Get it done. It can save you in the long
run. And let me add this on too, on top of this topic also. So I also heard that men were not washing their backsides properly, because they consider that gay. So that means they have a bunch of feces up their butts. Pretty much, y'all not washing up good back there. Y'all not taking a wash rag with the soap and getting in there, opening it up and getting in there, scrubbing in there good, getting it up. You're going to give yourself infections. And also, too, you're going to cause the women that you're sleeping with bacterial vaginosis. So stop calling them fish pots or fishy smells, because that might be coming from you, because that's all the bowel movements and all that, and all the fluids and bodily fluids mixing together. Stop that ignorant talk and stop talking like that. Wash yourself up. Keep yourself clean.
Keep yourself clean.
Yourself clean. That is ridiculous. And to back that up, there was Dr. Jen Caudell. She had a short YouTube video on YouTube called "Are Some Men Really Not Washing Their Bottoms? Yes or No?" And she speaks to that. If y'all want to reference that, it is sick to get out of that mentality of everything is gay. Stop that nonsense.
Yeah.
Stop it. Y'all are hurting yourselves in the end run. Y'all are hurting yourselves. And I'm gonna tell you this. I think it's a turn on when men practice self-care. I'm sorry. When they're not over abusing substances, keeping themselves clean, going to the doctor, specialists, dentists, getting their manicures and pedicures. Yes, I said that. Massages and facials. I love to see a man looking clean and taking care of himself and well groomed. That's attractive to me. And I think other women may feel that way too. I'm gonna give an example. This is gonna relate to my homie SeVen here. Back in the day, we worked at a job. That is story time about the jobs that I can't stand. There was this one girl, an African lady, and she was on SeVen like no other. She knew me and SeVen are best friends. That's my homie, whatever. So we had a side conversation, and she said, "It's something about him." I can't do her accent, y'all, so forgive me. She said, "It's something about him. He keep himself clean. He's just clean. He got a clean car. He just keep himself clean, keep himself up to date, looking good." That one time we was in a meeting, she was there, and she had them seductive eyes talking to my homie here. And she was pretty, very pretty, nice shape, everything, pretty woman. And told him, "If I wasn't married, I would make you want me, even if you don't want me." I said, what? Okay, she was okay, shooting her shot. Shout out to her. Shout out to her, shooting her shot. I said, okay. Because why? My homeboy here is keeping himself up clean, taking care of himself. Women like that. Women like that. Keep it up. That turned her on. And I agree, it is a turn on for me too. And like I said, some of the things I listed before might be considered feminine, but I don't label that as feminine. You have nice nails and nice feet. Take care of yourself, facials and everything, massages. Get yourself together. Get yourself right.
And honestly, I'm the type of man, I just don't do it for the looks or for compliments. I do it for myself. It feels good, because I'm telling you, fellas, when you look good, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So let it all align. If the inside is well, let the outside be well too. Take care of
Yes.
yourself. There's nothing. I'm telling you, fellas, I get a massage every couple months. I
That's what
go
I'm
to the
talking about.
massage parlor.
See?
I haven't had a manicure and pedicure in a while, but I make sure my fingernails is clean
Yep.
and
Cleaned up.
toenails look right.
Yep.
All that stuff. Make sure
Feet
the
soft.
skin
Yeah,
looks
skin.
good.
Yep.
The beard is
Yep.
shaped up
Yep.
or haircut,
Yep.
whatever. All those things, man. Women admire that, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
also once again it's part of your self care.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when you feel good, you look good, fellas. Take care of yourself. Wash your ass. Keep your Johnson clean. All those things, because those are the things that shine light. And women do look at that. They look at that. They like a man that is well kept and takes care of himself. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
They like that. And if the car is clean, that's definitely a plus. They like when you pull up in a clean car. I'm at the car wash 3 times a week. That thing getting clean. Sneakers gonna be clean. Everything's gonna be
Yes.
clean. I don't care if I just got off of work. Everything gonna look good.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look good, you feel good.
Yes.
That's number one key, fellas. That's self-care. You got to take care of yourself. And not saying you got to go get manis and petties and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but take care of your outer appearance just as well as your insides. Definitely do that.
Thank you for that.
Do whatever,
Yes.
whatever, makes you feel good as a man. If it's, like I said, going to the gym, shooting ball, cleaning your car, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
All those things are self-care, and do those things for yourself.
Yep. I'm gonna also highlight this. My sister and I had a conversation again, and this was about men's health. And she mentioned that men working in certain professions, like if they work for like the state, the government, or the school system, they're gonna take better care of their bodies more because why? The jobs require mandatory drug testing and physicals. You got to keep up with that to make sure you're able to perform the job properly.
And not only that, you got to be well kept when you go up in those type
Those
of
type of
corporate
yep,
jobs and all that stuff
all
like
those
that.
jobs,
Yeah.
especially physical
hmm
labor and all that type of stuff.
When I worked in nursing, my scrubs were ironed. They were never wrinkled. They were never wrinkled, and my sneakers would be clean. Like all of that. Like you got to
Yep.
present yourself well.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I believe in that. And I believe that those kind of professions, they keep men to take care of their health because they're going to be screened every year for that. So I'm glad she mentioned that.
Because you definitely don't want to look like what you've been through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when you get that testimony, people will look like, wow, I've never even thought or imagined you was dealing with that or been through that or whatever the case may be. So that definitely shines light on the fact that no matter what you're going through, you're still taking care of yourself. You're still keeping yourself up.
Yes, there. I also wanted to say something else too. Rest in peace to the late Irv Gotti. Rest in peace to him. Y'all know who he is, the behind Ja Rule, Ashanti, the producer. He was a filmmaker. He did shows. He was a writer, multi-talented. Just say that.
He was up there.
He had his own label and everything like that. Rest in peace to him. I want to give an example. His death is an example of how he would still be here with us today. He had diabetes. I think he was diagnosed in his late 40s, and he had multiple strokes. He wasn't taking care of himself. He wasn't taking his insulin, and he wasn't dieting. So that resulted in an untimely death for him. And also, too, back in the day, I'm not going to judge him. He's deceased now. Rest in peace. But not him, not just him alone. A lot of those rappers were on ecstasy. They were drinking, drugging hard too. And then you see what happens. They were doing their 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s, and then end up catching.
They abused themselves.
Yep, it caught up with them. You see what I'm saying? So please be mindful. I always stress this and the importance of that. Please be mindful of that. Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. You will forever live on with your music, your artist. Rest in peace. And we're sorry that you had to go. We're sorry. So sorry for that.
So I just want to thank everybody. We're coming to an end. Thank you for tuning in on Men's Health Awareness Month, and we want to thank all of our followers. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We also have our own website, our own website, and that's at sofatalk@gmail.com. That's spelled SOFATAWK.
That's our website.
That's our website at gmail.com. And you can find the Sofa Talk in the Facebook search bar, TikTok search bar, and Instagram also.
Thank
We
you.
thank you guys for tuning in.
Um, Thank you so much also for listening to our episode on Men's Health Matters. If you have a dilemma, you're in need of advice from SeVen and I, feel free to write to us at the Dear Sofa Talk letter. Our email for that is sofatalk, SOFATAWK at gmail.com. And let's see how we can help you out. No problem is too big or too small. We'll see what we can do to help you. Don't be afraid. Go ahead and write that letter. Um, Feel free. Well, let me tell y'all something. We were gonna initially, we mentioned this before, we were gonna do an episode on gun violence, but we're gonna postpone that. We may do it next year. We don't know yet. So that
Yeah.
was gonna be our next episode,
Hmm.
but we're not gonna do it. So we're gonna postpone that, and possibly we might do it next year.
Hmm.
So let me tell y'all this. Be on the lookout for our topic in July, culture and culture vulture. What a perfect time to do this topic. Why? We got Independence Day, July 4th. Free, freedom, being free. Wait till you hear the topics we're about to hit with that. I hope it all makes sense and I hope y'all can catch on, but we're about to hit some stuff. And I think people from all different backgrounds, genders, ethnicities will be able to. We're going in there. Just know we are going to be going in, and let's see how this goes. We're going to be talking about some stuff here. So please be on the lookout for that. And that might air July 26th. So that's on a Saturday. So that might air July 26th. We'll keep you posted like always. Please subscribe, like, follow, share, comment, or leave a review wherever you're listening. Remember, the talk will have you talking on the sofa. Goodbye. Until next time.